Coming up on this edition of Sbu TV News, the parking meters in the city of Olean are causing a stir, and will a convicted killer's First Amendment rights be upheld when it comes to giving restitution to a St. Bonaventure graduate's family? Welcome to Sbu TV. I'm Kelly Eschberger.
And I'm Jessica Ansuini. The city of Olean may have a potential parking problem. I took a drive downtown to find out more. In the city of Olean, you can't just park for free. Parking meters line the streets and have been a permanent fixture since the early 1940s. Most meters in the city are the traditional mechanical style, but like most machines, they break, and nearly 100 have been digitally replaced. The parking meters are no joke. The next time you park in the city of Olean, put your silver in the parking meter. 10 minutes of parking costs a nickel, 20 minutes a dime, and 1 hour a quarter. If you can't spare some pocket change, you may receive a ticket. That will cost you $5. So, where is all this money going?
It's over $100,000 a year. It's a lot of revenue to have for the city, and to tell you the truth, it's been a very hot debated item uptown.
It should be, since the city doesn't make nearly that much. The city has not collected $100,000 from the parking meters. In fact, less than $20,000 has been made in the last 3 years. And in the last year recorded, it lost almost $2,000. Regardless of how much money the city thinks it makes, the meters are still a machine that takes money to maintain.
And sometimes they do break. They're old, you know. So I try to keep up with them.
For Sbu TV, I'm Jessica Ansuini. Next week, I will talk to city business owners and get their feelings about the parking meters.
A national terrorist re-enters the lives of his victims, including one Bonaventure alumnus. Anna Bulszewicz has the story.
A Bonaventure graduate and prominent advertising executive, Thomas J. Moser, was killed by Ted Kaczynski, better known as the Unabomber, in 1994. For those of you who don't remember, the Unabomber chose to target his victims by sending bombs through the mail.
According to Monday's issue of the New York Times, this killer, Ted Kaczynski, is back in the headlines. But this time, the federal government wants to auction edited versions of his handwritten materials on the internet to raise money for 4 of Mr. Kaczynski's victims. He claims this is a violation of his First Amendment rights. Lee Coppola, Dean of the School of Journalism, shares his opinion.
Under his analogy, if he were a drug dealer and we seized his drugs and wanted to get rid of his drugs, he would say, I want my drugs back. Sorry, possession of the government now.
Susan Moser, wife of the late Bona graduate, was stated in Monday's article. Quote, did he worry about the rights of Hugh Scruton, Tom Moser, or Gil Murray, from whom he took the right to live? Or the rights of the other fathers, sons, brothers, sisters, or husbands who were recipients of his bombs and who suffered real, painful, and genuine irreparable harm? Or the rights of those who loved them?
Hanchette.
A close friend and former peer, John Hanchette, reminisced on his St. Bonaventure classmate.
He was a really down-to-earth guy. He was not full of himself. He was like somebody you would meet at a party or something.
Moser died on December 10th, 1994. He graduated from St. Bonaventure in 1965. With Sbu TV, I'm Anna Bulszewicz.
Thomas Moser will always be remembered by the St. Bonaventure community.
With the 2007 budget facing a huge deficit and one side of town having sewer issues, the city of Olean has formulated a new committee to overlook its finances. Olean recently implemented an 8-member finance committee and will review auditors' monthly and bi-monthly reports.
Well, we needed to get the aldermen involved with their responsibilities to manage the monies of the city. And that's why, as I stated before, that I consider them fiscally uneducated.
Finance Committee is in response to a $7 million deficit. East Olean is also facing a sewer infrastructure problem.
Well, the work will begin in the spring, if we get the money there. I mean, again, there's two ways to the money was allocated at one time. It needs to be put back into the fund so it can be spent. And there's, again, two ways of doing it, raising taxes or bonding it.
The funds previously designated for repair were spent on what the mayor calls groceries.
Do I feel there was anything illegal? No. It's just that the Common Council should have been updated that these monies were being used to do these things, and they weren't.
The mayor said the Finance Committee is not a self-imposed control board, but a board to manage the books of the city. St. Bonaventure students voted Cafe LaVerna as the name of its new 5,500 square foot addition to Dickey Dining Hall. The new gourmet coffee cafe will be named after the mountain retreat that was given to St. Francis and his brothers. Every year, teenage drivers are involved in 6,000 to 8,000 car crashes. The National Teen Driver Survey attempted to find out why. Researchers asked thousands of high school students what their friends are doing while driving. CNN's Chris Lawrence has more.
The class president and the prom king, packed into a car with 4 other kids heading to the dance. Their 16-year-old friend driving is sober and isn't speeding, but she gets distracted.
Somebody asked for a pack of gum, and there was a pack of gum in the driver's seat pocket, and she reached for it and for an instant looked away from the road and lost control of the vehicle.
Donna Sabat lost her daughter. Jillian and her boyfriend, both passengers, died when the car flipped over.
I loved being her mom. From the moment she was born to the moment she left. That night, I loved being her mom. And I miss her so much.
A new study of teenage drivers suggests that kind of accident was no accident. About 90% say they don't drink and drive, but 9 out of 10 have seen passengers distract the driver, drivers using cell phones. More than a third don't wear seatbelts consistently.
Most kids think that they're invulnerable.
Actually, they're inexperienced, and according to Jill's brother, easily distracted.
It could be music, it can be cell phones, it can be friends in the back even.
So teenage drivers should pay closer attention. Easy for adults to say, but when those drivers are out on the road, what do they see?
Men making calls, women getting ready for work, everyone eating. And when you're 16, trying to stand up to your friends?
You never want to be the uncool guy in the group, so you tell someone to buckle up, they're like, "You're not my dad, don't tell me what to do."
That's why Jill's family and friends have started a website called JourneySafe.org, encouraging teenage drivers to buckle up, turn down the music, and shut off their phones.
I don't care if it's not cool. I don't care if my friends will bag on me for it. I want to keep people safe and I want to stay alive.
And parents, 2/3 of teens surveyed say when it comes to driving, your opinion still matters. Chris Lawrence, CNN, San Clemente, California.
Up next, a sneak peek at the Rathskeller renovations, and a London-based production company visits campus. Stay with us.
At St. Bonaventure, we are giving students the building blocks for life. My name is Les Quick. I graduated in 1975, and in 20 years, I was chairman of a member firm of the New York Stock Exchange. What I think Bonaventure really gave me was an ethical core that has been with me all through my business life. St. Bonaventure is a part of who I am.
Welcome back. With construction taking place all around St. Bonaventure, one unplanned renovation was recently completed. SBU TV reporter Maggie Delmore has more.
During the winter break, the Rathskeller, St. Bonaventure's on-campus bar, was renovated. The need for upgrades to the facility were long overdue.
Anybody that actually visited the Skeller knew that it needed an overall. It needed some attention.
The Skeller is a great place, but in terms of the booth and stuff, a lot of the equipment was outdated, and just the room itself was really dusty.
The Rathskeller was not part of the Hickey Dining Hall renovation plans. The idea for the Rathskeller cosmetic facelift came about during the fall 2006 semester.
A group master plan between Rob Defazio, Steve Plesac, and myself. Basically, it was how to take a underutilized location on campus and turn it into something where students actually want to come out and visit.
We knew we needed a place on campus for students to gather during their free time, late in the evenings, and places to watch TV, play cards, things like that.
A lot of work went into it with the woodworking, the painting, the varnishing, that it really does look very current.
Upgrades include new paint, TVs, and refinished floors. The DJ booth has also been remodeled and has a new sound system. Not only have physical improvements been made, but also new activities and events are in the works for the Rathskeller.
Changes to the Rathskeller atmosphere are based on activities that appeal to students.
And it wasn't just giving it a cosmetic makeover, but it was how to increase the programming down there. What are actually students looking for in the Rathskeller, and again, create a master plan on that.
Well, instead of playing Xbox in their room, maybe they can go down to the Rathskeller and do that, and it'd be a lot more people at the same time.
For Sbu Tv, I'm Maggie Delmore.
The Rathskeller will continue to have its normal hours of operation, but they may change in the future.
A London-based production company came to campus Tuesday and taped several scenes for an upcoming documentary. Freelance director Lawrence Elman is working in cooperation with Warner Brothers to create a film entitled The Signs of the 10 Plagues. The documentary will scientifically explore the 10 plagues of Egypt as they were described in the biblical book Exodus.
Is this possible in the time frame they say, and is this possible? Is it metaphysically possible? Is it naturally possible? Could this have happened?
Elman's producer looked for a location that fit the company's vision of a historic library with character. The producer came across Friedson Memorial Library on the university's website.
Actually, it was an extraordinarily long journey from Buffalo, and I kept on thinking, why are we going here? 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 And then all of a sudden we arrived, and I went, wow, this is perfect, and it's been great. And all the books we needed, there was reference material.
The documentary will be a precursor to the feature film The Reaping, starring Hilary Swank and directed by Elman's friend, Stephen Hopkins. Elman said the documentary will take about 18 months to complete and a release date has not been set.
If you've been scratching your head lately, you may have a big problem. It could be head lice. Kevin Rooney has the story.
Head lice has been a problem in elementary schools for years. Most recently, Cattaraugus County has had a couple outbreaks. We caught up with Mary Ann Power at the Cattaraugus County Department of Health.
I've had an increasing number of people who are contacting us saying that their children have head lice.
A common misconception is that lice can fly.
They can only move, and why you get so many in grade school with it, the little heads are close together, or they get on hats. Somebody tries on somebody else's hat.
Pediculus humanus capitis, also known as head lice, may look large on screen, but it's actually smaller than a penny.
Over the years, many wives' tales have developed for treating lice.
I've seen people use kerosene, and that is, to have that absorbed.
The easiest way to treat lice is to follow the recommended steps.
Use the shampoo twice. Whatever you follow the directions. Do not leave on for 24 hours. Leave on for only the minutes you're told. Comb the nits out, and you want to comb them out because some of them could be live and hatch in a few days. Make sure you put the clothes the children have had on, the headgear, the hats. Make sure they all go through a dryer, because that 20 minutes in the dryer is what kills lice. Washing is not a total answer.
So for you parents with kids in elementary school, we leave you with this tip.
It's really important that you check their heads frequently.
For Sbu TV, I'm Kevin Rooney.
6 to 12 million people are affected with head lice each year.
It was picture time for seniors on St. Bonaventure's campus. However, not everyone got theirs taken. Emily Lenahan has the story.
Just open up your eyes a little bit. Yeah.
Bonaventure's graduating class of 2007 had its opportunity this week to have pictures taken for the school's yearbook, the Bonado.
Bonado is a tradition for seniors. Every picture taken is a part of history.
Flipping through the yearbook is something some seniors look forward to, while others don't even get their pictures taken. I decided to ask why.
I got my yearbook picture taken because my dad wanted me to get it taken, and also it's good for setting out the picture for resumes.
I got a picture taken because I'm really excited about the yearbook, and it's nice to have something to look back at.
I thought it would be nice to have something in the future to remind me and my family of Bonaventure.
I didn't get my picture taken because I didn't remember, one, and two, I heard the yearbooks are really far behind with getting them out as a senior, so I didn't want to waste all that time.
It wasn't very well advertised, and by the time I heard about it, I wasn't that interested anymore.
It just doesn't really matter to me, the yearbook. It's unimportant.
Thousands of graduates still remain on campus in picture form. The yearbooks are on hand in the university library. For SBU TV, I'm Emily Lenahan.
The Bonadoo was given to seniors free of charge, and when we return, Kevin Rooney has the sports report. Stay with us.
I come from Ukraine. For 52 years, I'm in the United States. For the first time, I felt like I have a right to be on this earth. This country, if you put your mind in anything, you will succeed. We are free. We can travel. We can go any place. We can, whatever we want. Freedom to me means my life.
Are your kids getting enough art? Where's the music? I don't hear any. Arts programs are being cut, making it hard for my kids and yours. Arts education is important, so it goes. Fight for it, because the less arts kids get, the more it shows. Rapping, painting, or creating music, arts education is key. How's that, Mom?
Remember what I told you, Chuck. Less bebop and more hip-hop.
Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
Welcome back. Kevin Rooney joins us with sports. Kev?
Cal, thanks. Being an athlete in addition to being a student can add pressure to the academic lifestyle. However, St. Bonaventure student athletes are succeeding not only in the field, but also in the classroom.
Last semester marked the fourth consecutive semester St. Bonaventure's student athletes have earned higher than a combined 3.0 GPA. David Potter, who advises all student athletes, tells us what he does to aid the student athletes.
I sit down with each coach and we establish a criteria. We do have sophomores, juniors, seniors who do put in required study hours. It's based on each coach's criteria. I also monitor the academic progress of our student athletes. That entails how they're doing in the class, their performance, their attendance.
This bulletin board honors over 100 student athletes with a 3.0 GPA or higher, 13 of which have a perfect 4.0. Softball earned the highest team GPA out of all 14 varsity sports with a 3.5. Coach Mike Threehouse talked to us about being the #1 academic team not only at SBU, but in the nation.
We set a goal last year. After being #4 in the country, we sat down as a team and talked about what our goals were for the following year or for the upcoming year. And one of them was to get back to the Atlantic 10 Championships, and the other one was to be #1 academic team in the country. And they did a good job. They pulled that off. I was proud of them.
For SBU TV, I'm Colleen Hannon.
We made a slight mistake in the story. Women's basketball had the top GPA at St. Bonaventure with a 3.64. Out of 228 student athletes, 137 earned a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and 98 of those students made Dean's List. The Bona swim team hosted 2 meets this week at the Riley Center pool. Reagan Terry has the story.
On Saturday, the Bonnies split against the Binghamton Bearcats. The women came out on top with a 165-75 win, while the men fell short with a 141.5-101.5 loss. The meet began after a short ceremony in recognition of this year's seniors. The Bona men will lose Chris Ekamoff, Dan Freeland, Jehan Gruler, Alraldo Neary, and diver Matt Dickinson. Men's head coach, Sean McNamee, said the seniors set a positive example for their teammates, both in the pool and in the classroom.
I put a lot of ownership in the senior class each and every year, and that has a direct reflect as to how successful our season is.
Although the women's team is still young, Danielle Gromeyer's underclassmen teammates and coach will feel the effect of her absence.
She's got all the characteristics that a coach wants. She has the determination, she has the desire, and she goes about it the right way.
Manager Lauren McGovern will also be missed.
She's been a very important aspect of my day-to-day operations here at Bonaventure.
Both brown and white teams were victorious Tuesday evening during their final home meet of the season. They hosted Niagara University and proved to be dominant throughout the event. The women snagged a 154-73 win, and the men beat the Purple Eagles 158-82. Both teams are training and preparing for the upcoming Atlantic 10 Championships, where the men captured gold during the 2005-2006 season.
It's going to be a different meet. A-10 is going to be a lot more challenging this year, and it's going to be tough.
The women have completed their regular season. The men travel to Amherst, New York on February 1st to conclude their regular season against the Buffalo Bulls. The Bona men are currently 4-5 in dual meets on the season, while the Bona women are 6-4. For Sbu TV, I'm Reagan Terry.
The A-10 Championship will begin February 21st at the Flickinger Aquatic Center in Buffalo. Anthony Solomon recently completed his 100th game as head coach at St. Bonaventure. Rob Cannon talked with him before the LaSalle game about the team's performance and his future as coach.
Our record right now, I believe, is 4-13, and with 12 more games left in the schedule, has your game plan changed for the rest of the season, the way you attack games and other opponents we're facing?
Not at all. Certainly, throughout the season you make some adjustments, but when you believe in the things that you're doing the way I do, I just think we just got to continue to focus on the things that we need to improve upon.
Okay.
The St. Louis game was an excellent win for us against a very high-quality basketball team that will have a lot of success throughout this basketball season.
What would you say were the keys to us performing well against Syracuse and St. Louis? Those were two, I believe, back-to-back games where we almost came up with a win against Syracuse and St. Louis. We did come up with a win.
Well, the Syracuse game, I think what our young men were able to experience was, and able to see for themselves, most importantly, was their ability to rebound. And when you rebound consistently throughout a basketball game, the position that it puts you in. Because playing a team like Syracuse, when not many believe that you can have any success against them, our defense as well as our rebounding, which is the last phase of any defensive possession, we did it at a high level, and it allowed us to be in a two-possession basketball game with 2 minutes to go. And then the St. Louis game, again, another great defensive effort along with rebounding. We're averaging 71 points a game offensively. That's fantastic. I mean, because several years back and how quickly we all can forget sometimes, averaging 70 points didn't come easy for us. But we've given up 80 points on the defensive end that we must improve on the defensive end of the floor.
I've also noticed that certain players have been stepping up, players that have been coming off the bench. Are there any players that have surprised you with their effort or their performance?
Jordan Morris has had some quality performances for us. Certainly he can improve. He's only a freshman. Yvonne came in and did a great job for us finishing the game off against St. Louis.
You've just completed your 100th game here at Bonaventure. What do you see your future as coach here at Bonaventure being?
When I began this restoration process, I knew there would be growing pains, and the growing pains certainly have to be first and foremost with me, but it's shared by many people. I'm excited as I've ever been, and my hope and faith in what we're doing continues to be as strong now as it ever has.
How important is the presence of the student body at Bonaventure home games, the Bonaventure home fans being here to root on the Bonnies?
Well, as I've said from day one, extremely important, and I've been appreciative how they've come out and supported us, especially over the last 2 seasons. It's been great, and they do make a difference.
Well, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you. My
Anthony
pleasure.
Solomon, everybody. For Sbu TV, I'm Rob Cannon.
Bonaventure's men's basketball hosted LaSalle Sunday the 20th. Let's head to the Raleigh Center. It's been a disappointing season for the St. Bonaventure Bonnies and its fans, but against the LaSalle Exployers last Sunday, it was a different story. The Bonnies scored often through the game's first 10 minutes. Tyler Ralph opened the scoring with a three-pointer. Paul Williams added a highlight reel dunk, followed by Zarian Ferretti's three-point shot. Midway through the first half, the Bonnies had accumulated 25 points and led the Explorers by 10. After establishing the early lead, things began to fall apart for the home squad. The last 5 minutes of the half saw the Explorers go on a 17-0 run, which gave the visitors a 6-point halftime lead. In the second half, things picked up where the first half left off. The Explorers added 4 more points before the Bonnies tallied their first points in over 8 minutes. Momentum quickly changed from one side to the other. The Bonnies had found their game despite a short power surge in the arena. The team combined for 52 second-half points. Paul Williams finished the day 8 for 9 with 20 points, and forward Michael Lee went 7 for 14 with 19 points. St. Bonaventure knocked off LaSalle 87-73 in front of 3,784 in the Riley Center. On Wednesday, the Bonnies tried to get 2 wins in a row. They took on defending A-10 champion Xavier in the Riley Center. The Bonnies started the game with 4 turnovers and a missed jumper, racing out to an 8-point deficit. The dunk by Michael Lee gave the Bonnies their first points. The Musketeers' lead grew to 14 after they started to heat up beyond the arch. 2 threes of her own and a Michael Lee layup brought the Bonnies within 3. But Xavier stretched their lead to 17 points with a 3-pointer from Stanley Burrow to end the half. The second half was more of the same. 3-pointers from Xavier mixed with turnovers and missed shots from the Bonnies. Xavier's B.J. Raymond scored the final points of the game with a 3-pointer, making it Xavier 92, St. Bonaventure 66. Xavier made 11 3-pointers compared to the Bonaventure's 5. The Bonnies are now 5-14 and 2-4 in A-10 conference play. The team travels to Richmond Saturday to take on the Spiders. The 55th National Hockey League All-Star Game was held in Dallas Wednesday. There were 3 Buffalo players on hand. The Buffalo Sabres were represented well in the NHL All-Star Game with goaltender Ryan Miller, defenseman Brian Campbell, and forward Daniel Briere on the Eastern Conference's starting line. To the American Airlines Center in Dallas we go. Briere was named the most valuable player with 1 goal and 4 assists, including this goal to give the East a 1-0 lead. Miller stood tall early, turning away 3 good scoring opportunities for the West.
Thrown to the front and held by Ryan Miller.
Midway through the first, 2-1 West, Martin St. Louis scored his first career All-Star goal to tie the game at 2. In the second period, Columbus's Rick Nash would score to begin a 3-0 scoring run for the Western Conference. Martin Havlat would one-time a shot past Martin Brodeur, and Yannick Perlot would deflect a pass through his legs. Late in the third, the East would attempt a comeback with Sheldon Surrey's shot that eludes Marty Turco, but the West would hang on to win the 55th NHL All-Star Game, 12-9. The Buffalo Sabres resume their regular schedule Friday at Columbus, and that wraps up This Week in Sports.
And that's all for Sbu TV. I'm Jessica Ansuini.
And for Kevin Rooney, I'm Kelly Eschberger. We leave you now with shots of campus. Have a great week, St. Bonaventure.